Hi, welcome to the Mind, Body, Soul magazine podcast. I'm Stacey Oliver, your host today. I am with Dr. Richard Gold and Yuval Ron of Metta Mindfulness Music. They are going to be featured in Mind, Body, Soul magazine, the fall issue 2023 coming out. But we wanted to give you a live interview with them. And we'll start with Yuval, who is an award-winning author, composer. He's composed scores for an Oscar-winning musical, West Bank Story. He has been a featured artist for the Dalai Lama at the Conference of Seeds of Compassion. You've been featured on CNN, National Geographic. You have composed many PBS Nova specials, and your recent album is the Four Divine States of Mind. You also have the presidential, which I love, you have the Presidential Gold Medal Award for volunteering for founding and running Inspired Sound Initiative, right, which you might be able to tell us a little bit more about that later. Sure. And Dr. Gold, hello. You are an acupuncturist from way back 1978. You helped found one of the four founders of the Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, which is now the Pacific College of Health and Sciences, which you have, they have campuses in San Diego, New York, and Chicago. And you have written the first English language book on Thai massage, a traditional medical technique. And we're here today, though, to hear more about what you two came together. You had a chance meeting in Esalen in California, Big Sur, summer of 2010. You met and you have decided to collaborate.
Sparks flew.
Sparks flew. Divine intervention, and then we now have the Metta Mindfulness Music. And tell us, and I know you use the word brain entrainment, that is what Metta Mindfulness Music is. And tell us, first, give us a bit about the meeting when you bumped into each other at Esalen. Dr. Gold, why don't you start?
Okay. Well, we were both teaching their separate workshops, so we were there with our families and small children at the time. Yuval was teaching a class in sound and neuroscience with a noted neuroscientist named Mark Waldman, and I was teaching traditional Thai medical massage. We met, and prior to that time, I had been using sound to facilitate my meditative process, but a lot of the ambient music and the music that was using binaurals at that time had no musicality or low level of musicality. Some of it was actually more irritative than calming. And I just casually asked Yuval, when I found out about who he was and what he did, if there was a way to bring a high level of musicality and composition and live musicians, acoustic musicians, to this field of meditative music. And the idea struck him very strongly. And before we knew it, we created Metta Mindfulness Music. The word metta is from the Buddhist tradition, meaning loving kindness. And our point of embarkation was also to use ancient wisdom traditions, traditional Chinese medicine, traditional Ayurvedic medicine, the theory of yoga, chakras, Jewish spirituality from the Kabbalah, to use these ancient traditions which have used music and sound for centuries. And we brought the neuroscience, ancient wisdom traditions, high level musicality together. When we started, we had no idea that 13 years later we would be talking about it with you. We thought it maybe would be a one-off thing. I'd been an academic and a clinician. I hadn't been in the music business, but we loved working together. Our first project was very well received, and we're just on a roll now. Along the way, we've had 4 Grammy nominations for different productions we've done, and we've just developed a deeper understanding and working with neuroscientists. So it's a late life career for me, which has brought me tremendous joy.
That's incredible. 4 Grammy nominations. Metta Mindfulness Music has had already, you've earned 4 Grammy nominations. Where can we find Metta Mindfulness Music? Is it what's the easiest way to get to the music? to get to the
Our
metamindfulnessmusic.com.
website, metamindfulnessmusic.com.
Okay, metamindfulnessmusic.com.
It's Metta with two T's.
METTA mindfulnessmusic.com.
Yes.
Everyone, you can go there and we just download
Yes, sir. And we're also on the streaming services.
Spotify and
Yeah.
platforms. Okay, great. Okay, Yuval, let's get your side of the story. In 2010, you're at Esalen and you meet Dr. Gold. He's teaching
Right. Yeah. A
Thai
friend of
massage.
mine, yeah, one of my students and friends told me about Dr. Gold. She said, Dr. Gold is here. Dr. Gold is here.
Oh,
The
okay.
whole week, I didn't see him. The whole week I was teaching there, and I was hoping to bump into him in the cafeteria, but we didn't. We didn't meet until the last day when we were leaving the campus. We met on driving in a stop on the way driving south. My family and I drove down to Los Angeles from Northern California, and Dr. Gold was driving further to San Diego, but we ended up stopping at the same rest stop and we bumped into each other and we had a meal. So that was really an incredible moment,
Wow, that's great.
because I thought I'm going to meet Dr. Gold, and then I left the campus and I thought, oh, I didn't meet him, I didn't talk to him, and I heard a lot about him from one of my friends. So
And
that,
you bump into each other at this rest stop?
yes.
Actually, Morro Bay.
Yeah, at
Morro Bay.
we both stopped for a meal and we didn't even coordinate it. We didn't know, we didn't talk. And
So it was divine intervention. I was
yeah,
right.
it
That's
was.
amazing.
And then, we started with one commission that Dr. Gold described to me the six healing sounds of Qigong and the elements philosophy of Chinese medicine, which, the air and the water and the fire and
Mhm.
the earth, the triple warmer, and those elements, wood also. And I learned a lot from Dr. Gold, and I've done a lot of research myself to find out what kind of music the ancient Chinese did, what kind of musical modes they used, and then I consulted the neuroscientists that I work with and neuroscientist studies of how the brain is affected by music. And I created the music for our first project, Six Healing Sounds. And this was so, first of all, it was a pleasurable collaboration. It was really, really a great flow. I really enjoyed it. It was, the music that came out was lovely, and I felt the power of this work. And then from that project came the whole rest of our catalog, and starting a company, a record company that is dedicated for healing sounds, for meditation, yoga, and well-being. So it's been a great run and way beyond anything I expected.
That's amazing. Right. You probably had no idea you'd have 4 Grammy nominations already.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I thought
great.
it would be just one project, just one
Right. A
project.
one and done.
And then
Right.
I go on to work with another client, as I've worked all of my career. But
Mhm.
a great friendship came out of this, really close collaboration and partnership, so it's a wonderful gift.
That's wonderful. And the music is wonderful. Now, are there certain albums for, tell us a little bit about how is there something for sleep? Is there something or are you focused just on what do you mean by brain entrainment? I see that on your website that you're helping with our
Yeah.
brain entrainment. Can you speak to that?
Sure. Yeah, on our website, people can see that we have several categories. We have music for relaxations, we have music for lowering stress, we have music for yoga and mindfulness, and we have music for brain health. And brain health is a big section in our website. We have a lot of products there for brain health, and brain entrainment is one of the methodologies to slow down the waves of the brain, the frequency in which the brain vibrates, to slow it down to a different kind of vibration, which is associated with deeper consciousness. For example,
Mhm.
when we sleep, our brain vibrates slower than when we talk right now. When we meditate, when we think creatively, when we focus on a project, our brain vibrate in a different speed than in which we are talking right now. If you would take 10 deep breaths right now, 10 deep breaths, your brain will shift from beta vibration to alpha vibration. There are different kind of speed. And so you're going to slow down your brain just by taking 10 deep breaths. The brain entrainment is a way of using sound to slow down the brain. And we use typically music through headphones. This is called binaural beats, where you have different tones in different ear. And those tones that are embedded in the music, those tones create another tone in your brain, only in your brain, that doesn't exist anywhere else. That vibration is the result of those two different vibrations that you receive through the headphones, and that brings your brain waves to that frequency that is created in your brain. And that's how we can control where your brain goes, what kind of frequency, what kind of speed your brain would vibrate. And that is brain entrainment.
I love it. That's amazing.
Very interesting. It's fascinating. Yeah.
It's very fascinating. Now, how does this compare to the effects of acupuncture, Dr. Gold? Is it similar at all?
Well, to the extent that in Chinese medicine, from the earliest days, the first book of Chinese medicine dates from about 257 BC, the Yellow Emperor's Classic, the Neijing. And in that classic, each of the 5 elements is assigned a key.
A musical key.
There it is.
A musical key. In fact, the character for medicine in Chinese language, in Mandarin language, the character actually includes the character for music. So this idea of music and sound is embedded in Chinese medicine. And it's an energetic medicine, we say, acupuncture, and it works with we change the frequency at points with our needles, or with pressure, with a heating technique. So there's a tremendous synergy between these. And we actually took this idea of the elements and the keys and created therapeutic sounds for particular problems, for digestive problems, for headache, and I forget the other ones we did right now, sleep, where, for instance, for digestive problems in Chinese medicine, it's usually an imbalance between earth and wood, between the stomach and the liver. So we wove themes together, and then we titled it, for ease digestion or something like that. And the feedback we get from listeners is it helps.
That's amazing.
It actually, so your questions are very appropriate, because we're using the same frequency and vibration.
I could have never come up with that. That was higher. I didn't even know it came out of my mouth.
That's a good segue, Stacy, because you mentioned about 40 hertz.
True. I meditated
the last 3 years, we've focused on productions along the way in 40 hertz, which is a brand new scientific and the neuroscience community of understanding. Because usually what we've done previously was we've taken people from beta, which is our conversational, down into meditative states, deeper and deeper, and then towards sleep, to help with sleep. Well, gamma is actually up here. It's a faster cycle. It's from 30 to about 120 hertz. That's beats per second. But what neuroscientists have found, and this is high-level research at MIT and in University of Wisconsin and Johns Hopkins, is that the neurons of the brain want to communicate at 40 hertz. And conversely, they found in cases of dementia and Alzheimer, there's a lack of 40 hertz communication from the neurons. So what we're working on is with brain entrainment, which is you send a certain frequency into the brain will begin to modulate to that frequency. That we're working in 40 hertz now, and we're really layering our music and tuning our instruments, and Yuval's composing in 40 hertz to actually work with brain health. And this is a hugely important issue to address, because the statistics on dementia are frightening.
Right. Right. Well, I believe it is the brain shutting down to cope with the decades of stress. I mean, I believe that's what dementia.
That's definitely a component. It's a multi-component thing.
And
certainly, because when the neurons are firing and the blood flows there, this helps clean the brain, and they've seen this in studies too. And so, one of our missions now is really to engage with researchers to provide our music, because the the 40 hertz is being used in a lot of the research that we've seen is either unpleasant clicking sounds at 40 hertz or blinking lights.
Right.
And we feel that
Very popular
if
right
our
now.
40 hertz is embedded in beautiful music, I mean, the music Yuval's composing and the levels of the musicians he's hiring to work for us is very, very, very high. That if you can, you're going to get a lot higher compliance. And we also want to take it out of the clinics and the hospitals and whatnot and make it much more available to people. That just you within, streaming or on your own, put on headphones. And it's not necessary to use headphones. You need headphones for binaurals to be effective, but not to get the 40 hertz. So that's really where a lot of our focus is right now.
That's fantastic. Well, we, Mind, Body, Soul magazine is going to help get you out there to the masses. And everyone, again, you can go to metamindfulnessmusic.com to download their music and treatments. Basically, really, they are treatments. And
I'd like to interject
anything
one thing
else?
now, and maybe Yuval can add to this too, which is the streaming services that we all use and love and are so convenient, and the brilliant algorithms, they're all sending music out in MP3s. And that's why we can have 10,000 songs on a small iPhone. What happens with MP3 technology is they strip a lot of data out of the file that's not really needed for the music. But because we layer our music and a lot of the therapeutic effect of brain entrainment is layered into our music, that's not necessarily part of the musicality of the track, MP3s take it out.
So it is best to download it from the metamindfulnessmusic.com.
Yeah, the high quality WAV file. Yuval?
Okay.
Yeah, because then you get the full musical vibrations, and the streaming music is not the full music. It's like a low res photo. When you download
Gotcha.
low res photo and you see all the graininess, and when you get the high definition photo, you see all the layers and all the colors, and it's so sharp and beautiful. The background is beautiful, the foreground. MP3 streaming music is the same thing. You just get the front, the general shape of the image, so you can recognize the music. Yeah, it sounds like Mozart, it sounds like Beethoven. It's the music, but it lacks all the depth, all the tones and colors. And when we talk about healing, we put all those vibrations in the music. We don't want the streaming services to water down the medicine and give the people just part of the medicine. We want them to get all the medicine. So it's really needed to get the downloaded files, which are like a CD quality. It's like getting a CD, but you just download it to your computer or your phone from our website. Hopefully, in the future, there will be technology that they will be able to stream the CD quality.
The highest quality. Yeah.
Hopefully,
I would think. Yeah.
You remember the years, I mean, maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, people couldn't stream movies.
Right.
You couldn't get a full feature film
Right.
down, in real time. And now they can do a whole movie streaming. Hopefully the technology will develop also in audio, and everybody could just get it on their phone, streaming high quality audio, but it's not there yet.
Right. Well, it'll be there soon. For now, everyone go to metamindfulnessmusic.com and look for the copy of Mind, Body, Soul magazine coming out in the fall with their feature story. And we'll be anywhere else we can follow you on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, on Instagram, I think it's called Mindfulness.
Metta Mind.
Metta Mind.
Okay, great. Metta Mind on Instagram.
Metta Mindfulness. It's called Metta Mindfulness.
Metta Mindfulness on Instagram. Fantastic.
On Facebook, it's Metta Mindfulness Music. On TikTok, it's Metta Mindfulness Music. So you can look everywhere. I think we are on Twitter too. We are everywhere. You just
great.
Metta with double T, Mindfulness Music, and you're going to find everything.
Okay, super.
And Yuval is a touring musician also. He has a world-renowned ensemble. So now that COVID's over, he's back on the road more.
Oh, where can we see your concerts, your live concerts?
Well, July 28th and 29th, we are performing in Los Angeles, and August 3rd through August 12th, I'm going to be in residency in Northern California. And in Labor Day weekend, at the end of the summer, I'm going to be in Pennsylvania. And then in February, I'm touring in India, and I'm inviting people to come with me to explore the Ayurveda,
Oh,
yoga, and
great.
sacred music in India, February 2004. So all this
24.
information
Where is all of this listed on?
on my website, which is yuvalronmusic.com. Y
Great.
Yuvalron music.com.
Perfect. Let's end there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, Stacy.
Well.